Before helmet cameras were everywhere, before motorcycle channels became a genre, there was one rider. No license plate, no face, no name anyone could prove. Just impossible footage appearing out of Sweden in the early 2000s. The police had the footage. They had the helicopters. But every time they tried to catch him, the chase ended the same way. The motorcycle simply disappeared. At over 170 miles per hour, cars look like they are parked. At those speeds, a mistake doesn't injure you. It erases you. And for nearly a decade, this faceless rider treated the motorways of Europe like his own private test track. His real name is Patrik Fürstenhoff, and this is his story. The man behind the visor. We told you his story once. The faceless rider, the Stockholm mechanic, the man the world calls Ghost Rider. Born in 1968, in his late 50s today. A former racer, a turbo specialist, a father of two. We told you about the police chases, the European runs, the disappearance, the legend. This is not that story again. This is the deeper layer underneath it. The metal, the law, the men who tried to stop him, the way he came back. Because Ghost Rider isn't one story, it's four. The machines, the law, the runs, the return, the machines. Every legend rides on hardware. Ghost Rider's hardware was built in a small Swedish town called Altersbruk. The shop, MC Express. The man, Erik Marklund. Without him, there is no Ghost Rider. 1999. The first weapon. A Honda CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird turbocharged. Around 164 horsepower stock, tested top speed, roughly 177 miles per hour. Honda's flagship before the Hayabusa stole its crown. April 18, 1999. Bruntingthorpe Airfield. The Blackbird wheelied at 191 miles per hour on one wheel. Guinness World Record. More than 2 decades later, it's still in the record books. 2002. The Hayabusa, build 1. Stock, around 1,298 cubic centimeters. Inline 4, around 173 horsepower. World's fastest production motorcycle when it left the showroom. This wasn't just modified, it was completely rebuilt for one thing: speed. Marklund stripped it back. New turbocharger, strengthened internals, custom fuel management. The result, around 417 horsepower, on a bike that weighed 215 kilograms dry. This was the machine from the original 2002 film, the one that made the world look up. Build 2, the 499. Same frame, bigger turbo, stronger cooling, bodywork stripped, color, high visibility yellow. Almost an insult to the police who couldn't catch it. This is where the story stops being about a rider and starts becoming about a weapon. Claimed peak output on racing fuel, 499 horsepower. On pump fuel, roughly 440 at the rear wheel. Furstenhoff was asked if they'd pushed it further. We've had it up to 500, but at that figure the cooling can't cope. In 2012, he gave it away by lottery. One fan won it. Nobody else ever got close. The K4, the Surgeon. Power is a drug, but in the tight streets of Southern Europe, power needs a scalpel. The 2004 GSX-R 1000, carbon fiber bodywork, around 164 horsepower, 168 kilograms dry, built for Paris, for Rotterdam, surgical strikes through traffic where weight mattered more than turbo lag. The K5 Turbo goes undercover, around 280 horsepower, the chassis of a superbike, the lung capacity of a hyperbike, one of the reasons no patrol Volvo ever closed the gap. And then, 4 wheels. A Subaru Impreza WRX STI, remapped, high-flow exhaust, 350 horsepower, built not to be the fastest car in Sweden, but to lose the second fastest. Honda, Suzuki, Subaru, 5 machines, 1 tuner, 1 rider, and a decade of European roads treated as a private test track. The law that couldn't reach him. Now switch perspectives. Step out of the visor, step into the patrol car. You're the officer. You're staring at footage that would go viral in hours. You still don't have a charge that will stick. This is the chapter the previous film didn't tell. The view from the other side. The legal problem. Sweden has no general strict owner liability rule for speeding on public roads. A license plate photograph won't convict you. Prosecutors still have to prove who was at the controls, beyond reasonable doubt. The Swedish standard, utom rimligt tvivel, beyond reasonable doubt. Now look at what the camera actually saw. Opaque visor, full leathers, no exposed skin, plates removed, taped over, or never fitted. A vehicle that couldn't be traced, a driver who never stopped. The Swedish term the officers used, bargurning, caught in the act, and he was never caught in the act. January 2009, Stockholm. A film reached the prosecutor's office in Södertörn. On the tape, police cars pursuing a black motorcycle on the E4. The bike exits. A man removes his helmet. The camera catches a face. Stockholm County Traffic Division Chief Ann Lindberg on record in Aftonbladet. That he hasn't hurt a bystander is a miracle. That he's still alive himself is an even greater miracle. Chief Prosecutor Stefan Bergman called it gross careless driving, sent it to the traffic unit. Lindberg's own words to Sveriges Radio P4. On one of the films, you can see a man in a garage, but it's not exactly decisive for the case. A face on tape, a name in the air, not enough. The chases, what we know. Multiple documented pursuits on the E4 south of Stockholm. Multiple marked Volvo 570 estates. Top speed of a police specification. Volvo, roughly 143 miles per hour. Sustained capability of a turbo Hayabusa, well past 200. The math never worked. The Subaru Chase, Ghost Rider, 6.66, 2011. Multiple police vehicles, at least one ramming attempt on camera. The car takes damage. The rider escapes. Some sources cite a career total of 6 cars, 2 vans, and a helicopter. That figure comes from the rider's own channel, not a police report. Treat it as part of the legend. Outside Sweden, silence. No public record of a Dutch police case ever surfaced about the Rotterdam-Amsterdam run. No Parisian investigation was ever publicly linked to the Paris Périphérique lap. In Germany, a Spiegel TV crew filmed him in Hamburg. Local police stopped him for a welfare check. They had no idea who he was. He rode away. There was no Operation Ghost, no special task force, no name manhunt. The system wasn't built for a rider like this. The law was written for citizens. And Ghost Rider had already erased himself before anyone could prove it. The European runs. Stockholm to Uppsala, October 2002. 42 miles of E4 motorway. A black Suzuki GSX-R 1000. 14 minutes, 55 seconds. Average speed, 170 miles per hour. Aftonbladet broke it on October 5, 2002. The headline translated, overtaking at 170 miles per hour. Drivers placed in mortal danger by new MC film. That was the sentence that made him famous. That was the sentence that made him a target. Paris, 2004. 22 miles of inner ring road, 9 minutes, 57 seconds. Average, roughly 131 miles per hour. This was a tribute and a challenge. In September 1989, an anonymous Parisian known as Le Prince Noir, the Black Prince, lapped the same road in 11 minutes and 4 seconds on a Suzuki GSX-R 1100. His film aired on La Cinq. The French Broadcasting Authority censored it. He vanished. Identity never confirmed. Ghost Rider beat his time by 67 seconds. The French press argued the comparison was unfair. Different traffic, different era, but the symbolism was undeniable. The torch had crossed the North Sea. Rotterdam to Amsterdam, August 3, 2004. Approximately 43 miles, 20 minutes, 32 seconds. Average, 127 miles per hour. He posted the announcement on his own website that same night. Dutch motorcycle magazine Moto73 ran the full interview the following February. No chase, no patrol, no dispatch. Just a stopwatch and a turbocharged GSX-R 1000 disappearing into Dutch dusk. Germany, the Autobahn. The Autobahn segments are his most watched footage. The speedometer needle regularly buried itself past 217 miles per hour. Instrument readings, not radar, not independently verified. The films were never designed as evidence. They were designed as performance. The Nordschleife. He wrote it on tourist days with a friend. No verified lap time from official timing. The most shared Ghost Rider Nordschleife crash circulating online is not him. Wrong bike, wrong riding style. The Green Hell claimed a copycat, not the original. The comeback. For more than a decade, silence. The last DVD shipped in 2011. The last interview in 2012. The internet had assumed the chapter was closed. Then, in October 2022, a video appeared on YouTube. Title, Uppsala Run 2022, Old and Crazy. Format, 4K. Bike, turbocharged GSX-RK5. The video's own description, this is a tribute run, not a record attempt. Our first video entering this new era of Ghost Rider. After 10 years of silence, he didn't come back quietly. The motorcycle internet erupted. Polish moto outlet Moto Voyager covered it on October 24th. YouTube didn't miss it, and neither did the new wave of motorcycle documentaries dissecting his story. For a generation that grew up watching him, this wasn't just a video, it was proof he was still out there. And then came Junior. In 2023, a successor figure appeared on the channel. Same suit, same helmet, same anonymity. The channel's own narrative positioned him as a new generation carrying the torch. Officially confirmed as Furstenhoff's son by any mainstream source? No. Treated as fact by the community? Yes. The identity may be evolving, or it may just be the internet doing what it always does, filling in the gaps. But here's what happened next. In May 2025, a house fire destroyed the family home. Clothes, furniture, and over 20 years of memorabilia. Gone. Furstenhoff lived in a garage while he rebuilt. His girlfriend launched a public fundraiser. The community showed up. And yet, by March 2026, he was already back at MC Express. Back with Erik Marklund. Back discussing turbos and engine builds and one final target. A 222 mile/hour world wheelie record attempt in 2026. The helmet stays on. The story keeps accelerating. What he left behind. 6 DVDs, 1 decade. The Final Ride, 2002. Goes Wild, 2003. Goes Crazy in Europe, 2004. Goes Undercover, 2005. Back to Basics, 2008. 6.66, What the Duck, 2011. They sold worldwide. Sales figures were never published. He told MCN in 2011 that piracy nearly killed the production. He ran a public lottery, gave away the 499 horsepower yellow Hayabusa to fund the next release. One fan won it. Most never even knew it was happening. The Europe Connection. In 2004, the Swedish rock band Europe released a single called Got to Have Faith. Yes, that Europe. The final countdown, Europe. The music video used Ghost Rider footage, ending with a high-speed blast past Upplands Väsby, the Stockholm suburb where the band was formed. A rock band and a road outlaw, sharing the same frame. The visual language he wrote. Before YouTube was a verb, he proved that point-of-view footage could be cinema. The bar-mounted camera, the tank-mounted camera, the chase angle. The visual language of every modern motorcycle channel. Ghost Rider invented it. The bike life scene that exploded in the 2000s. Ghost Rider seeded it. The cost was real. Imitators died. Riders chased the legend who could not ride the legend's machines. The sharpest critics of Ghost Rider have always been other motorcyclists. They blame him for the way the rest of the world looks at them. They blame him, and they keep watching. Joachim. There is one more name in this story. Joachim Karlsson, known as Iceman. 39 years old, from Habo, Sweden. Member of the Swedish wheelie team. Killed in practice at the 2005 Isle of Man TT Kirk Michael. For years, parts of the internet insisted Joachim was Ghost Rider, that the legend died with him on that road in May 2005. The Swedish wheelie team never confirmed it. Furstenhoff has spent 20 years denying it. But the rumor seeded the deepest myth of all, that Ghost Rider is more than one rider. That when one falls, another puts on the helmet. The truth is probably simpler. The mythology is more useful. Either way, when you watch the footage now, you cannot tell. That, in the end, is the point. Some stories don't end. They just wait until someone's brave enough to ride them again. Subscribe. We're dedicating this channel to the outlaws that history nearly forgot. The next chapter is already on our workbench. Join us for the ride.